Hey guys, it's Sarah, and I have a book haul today. I'm pretty sure in my last book haul, which was in August, I said I was officially on a book buying ban. I'm also pretty sure that lasted a whole 2 weeks. Whatever. I like books and I buy them. There's worse things I could spend my money on. So, I do have a book haul today. I have 19 books to show you. These I have been accumulating over the past 3 months. So, September, October, November. And I got these from multiple sources, so I'll talk about those when I show you the books that I got. But, yep. Okay, the first three books I have to show you, I actually bought myself for my birthday. I got some birthday money from my parents, so I took it over to bookdepository.com and I bought these books. This is the Farseer trilogy by Robin Hobb. The first one is called Assassin's Apprentice. The second is called Royal Assassin. And then the third one is Assassin's Quest. Now, I have seen Robin Hobb being spoken about on Samantha's channel, which is called Novels and Nonsense, and she's one of her favorite authors. So I just really heard about her and I got really intrigued by the stories that Samantha was talking about and her writing style, so I wanted to definitely check her out. And then when I got my birthday money, I was like, you know what, I'm going to go ahead and just buy the first trilogy, see how I like it. I got the covers that I liked from the UK. So I'm excited to get into these probably very soon in 2016 to see if I like them and if I want to keep going with Robin Hobb. But from what I am hearing, they are phenomenal. So I'm excited to see what I think. These are high fantasy novels. I got one book from Book Outlet. I had a $5 off coupon, and then I found a book that I have had on my radar for a while, and then it was actually a scratch and dent, so it was pretty cheap. I got this very cheap, but I picked up Blonde. This is written by Joyce Carol Oates, and when it came, it said scratch and dent, but it's like the cover is a tiny bit bent, but I mean, honestly, I could barely tell. I was like, okay, I'll take it for super cheap. Thank you. So this is a book that is a fiction book, but it is told, I believe, from the perspective of Marilyn Monroe. So it's fictional, obviously. It was not written by Marilyn Monroe, but I've heard really good things about it, and I love Marilyn Monroe, so I'm excited to see what this is all about. The next book that I picked up is also something that's been on my radar. I've heard a lot about it on BookTube. A lot of people were reading it for October because it's supposed to be kind of a creepy thriller type read, and I was watching, I believe it was Whitney at Witty Novels, and she talked about this book, and she said that this book in hardcover was not being sold anymore. Like, you can't get it on Amazon, at least. So, and then everywhere else it was clearance, and I was like, I'm gonna look and see if I can find it on clearance somewhere, because I knew it was on my radar. I pretty much knew I wanted the hardback copy, and I found it on Barnes & Noble, and it was $5, I think, or 5 something for this really heavy novel. So I picked up Night Film by Marisha Pessel, I believe that's how you say her last name. This is a very heavy book, and the reason that it's heavy is because the pages in here are pretty thick, and this is, there's a lot of media type things in here. Let me find something. But this is like a website page, and then things like this, like case files and things like that, and then there's just like regular, the actual story. So I have heard very good things about this book, and I'm excited to get into it and see what it's all about for myself. But apparently this is about a horror movie director, and his daughter supposedly commits suicide, but we find out that she was actually killed and staged to look like it was suicide. So they're kind of trying to figure out who in the world killed his daughter, and then he's a little weird too because he's a horror director, so he's got some issues going on too. But yeah, I'm excited to read this. I will check Barnes & Noble again and see if it's still available, and if it is, I will link this on there. But if you want this book, I would go ahead and pick it up while it's super cheap if you want the hardcover. These next two books I actually picked up at Albertsons like the grocery store. At ours here in town, there's a little section right up front that has books, and mostly it's like mass market paperback type stuff. But they also had a little clearance bin in the center that was like discounted books, and so I just kind of casually looked through it one day and I found 2 books that had been on my radar, and I was like, yes, please. So the first one is called Back to Blood. This is by Tom Wolfe. I don't 100% know what this is about, but it's been on my radar. I don't know why. It might be the cover. I think the cover's really cool and pretty. I think I read the synopsis, but I don't remember. And the other one that I got at Albertsons, I'm super, super excited, and I'm probably going to read this very, very soon, but I picked up The Cuckoo's Calling by Robert Galbraith, aka J.K. Rowling. That is her pseudonym for this. And I have heard that this series is very good. The 3rd book just came out. This is the first one, and then the second one is called The Silkworm, and the 3rd one is Career of Evil, which just came out, I believe, last month. But people are raving about this. It's like I believe it's a crime drama mystery type of series, and yeah, I really have wanted to read this for a very long time, so I'm really happy that I found it in a hardback, and I think this was like $3.99, so score 1 for Albertsons. Okay, so I have 12 more books left in this haul, and all the rest of these books came from Goodwill. I have a really good Goodwill down the street from my house. Every time I go in there, I only go in there to look at books, and every single time I leave with something, even if it's just one book. Like, it's insane. And I really only pick books that have been on my radar and that I know I'm going to pick up and read and want to probably read pretty soon. So I'm really lucky in that aspect that our Goodwill is so, awesome about books, because we don't have just big standalone bookstores in our town. Our town's a little bit small. We have a Hastings, which is nice but expensive, so I don't tend to shop there very often, and then we have Walmart that has the book section, and that's literally it. So Goodwill is my go-to place to buy books, and they're cheap, so all right, the first one that I found, and I grabbed it right off the shelf when I saw it, is Crank by Ellen Hopkins. I've never read Ellen Hopkins before, but I have heard about her recently, and I was immediately intrigued. This looks really thick. However, it is a smaller book, and it's actually, she writes in verse, so the pages are like this. So even though it looks really big, and I think it's over 500 pages, it's going to go really quickly once I get into it. So she, I believe, writes very hard topics. I think this one is like drug addiction. And then I heard something else about identical twins and going through something really bad. And I believe there's one about soldiers with PTSD that I'm really interested in. So yeah, I've never read her. This is the only one that I own from her, but I'm going to read this, and then hopefully if I like it and want to get more from her, I can start searching out and buying some more of her books. Another book I got is by an author I have not read yet, but he is on my radar to read hopefully really soon. Next year I'm going to start concentrating on some new authors that I've recently heard about. But I picked up Heart-Shaped Box by Joe Hill. Joe Hill is the son of Stephen King, and I have heard that his books are really, really good. They are in the horror genre as well. I think this might have been his first book from what I could tell as far as release dates go. This was in 2007, and he's written more since then. But yeah, so I found this really nice hardback copy at Goodwill, so I have a Joe Hill book now. This next book I picked up last week, actually, and then that same day that I picked this book up, my mom let me know that she got a book on Audible because it was like a daily deal or something, and so she picked it up because she liked this author, and it was the same book. I was like, Mom, I literally picked that book up at Goodwill today. It was crazy. So I have the physical copy and an audio version now if I want to as well, because my mom and I share an Audible account. But I picked up The Last Anniversary by Lane Moriarty. I have never read Lane Moriarty. This is my second book that I picked up from her, though. I picked up another one, Big Little Lies, I think. I picked that one up at Goodwill a couple months ago as well. So yeah, I grabbed this one too, and hopefully I like her, because now I have 2 of her books. Okay, This next one, I about flipped my lid when I bought it. Okay, so I have wanted to read this book for a very long time. I've heard it's very, very, very good. It is very long, but I've heard it is really good, and it's actually first in a series. And I don't know. I just never picked up a physical copy. I actually never saw a physical copy, but I saw it at Goodwill, and it's in perfect condition, and it's a really floppy paperback that I love so much. And so I picked up The Passage by Justin Cronin. This, I believe, is apocalyptic type book. I want to say it involves either vampires or zombies. I don't know which one. I want to say maybe vampires. I don't know. Like I said, it's very long, as you can tell, but oh my gosh, it's so floppy. It just, oh, look at that. I love it. I love it when books just lay like this because it's so easy to hold, and I could lay it on my table while I'm eating. Oh, I love that. So the story with this one is, this is a day that I just kind of randomly went in on Monday. I don't know, I just kind of like, I'm right here. I'm just going to go ahead and pop into Goodwill real quick. So I did, and I found it, and I was like, okay, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and pick that up. I'd never seen, a really nice copy like this. This is the only book I bought that morning. I went up to the register, $1.50 for this book, because apparently it was like everything was 25% off in the store on that day, and I didn't know that. I was like, holy crap. Like, oh my gosh. So I was super, super score deal on this one. I could not even believe my luck on this book. All right, these next 3 books I'm going to talk about all together because they're from the same author, another author I have never read, but another author I plan to read soon. So I just went ahead and grabbed them because they were at Goodwill and they were cheap and they're all in good condition. But I got some books by Sarah Dessen. I got The Truth About Forever, which I had personally recommended to me by somebody, Just Listen, and Dreamland. Dreamland is shorter. These 2 are longer. But Sarah Dessen writes, I believe, it's contemporary. I don't know if it's adult or new adult or YA or what. Maybe, I think it might be new adult contemporary. So I've heard really good things about her writing, and I'm excited to give her a try as an author and see if I like what she has to write. But I found all these in one day, just like, hi, Sarah Dessen section. I'm going to go ahead and grab some of these. Okay, these next 2 books are 2 books that are a part of a series. I think it's number 1 and number 3 though, so I'm missing a couple of them. But I went ahead and grabbed them while I saw them, and I got this book, which is Savory All by Garth Nix, and then I also got a person. That one. I have heard about this series before, and I heard it's really good. It's a high fantasy series, and I really put it on my TBR list, like, something to look out for, because one of my favorite authors, Sarah J. Maas, said that this series made her want to write fantasy, and she writes my favorite fantasy books. So I was like, well, if she loved it that much, I should love it that much, or I should at least give it a try and see if I love it that much. And I found these 2. These were the only 2 in the series that I found there, so I just went ahead and grabbed them. But I'm excited to give this first one a try and see if I like it, and then either try to get my hands on the other ones or get them from the library or something like that. But yeah. And these last 3 books are also part of a series. I believe it's a 5-book series, and I have 3 of them now. I'm missing 2 books. But I picked up books in the Dublin Murder Squad series. So these are written by Tana French. First one is In the Woods, not Into the Woods. In the Woods. Second one is The Likeness, and I think this is the 4th one, which is Broken Harbor. And then there's 2 other ones. So I'm missing number 3 and number 5. But it's funny because I saw Lindsay Ray talk about these one morning. Like, I was eating breakfast and watching Lindsay, and she was talking about In the Woods because she had read it recently. And she raved about it. She was like, this was so good. I'm going to go out immediately and get the rest of the series and read them. And Tana French is such a great writer and blah, blah, blah. And I was just like, I need to read these. And I'm not kidding you. 2 hours later, I went to Goodwill and I found all 3 of these books in one morning. I'm like, what is happening? Like, the universe is on my side right now. Like, I had to get them, right? Because they were fresh in my mind from Lindsay. And then I just happened to find them literally 2 hours later. I was just, what? what? I am going to be going to a library sale later this week. So if I get anything there, then I will jump in here and let you know what I got there as well. I'm not sure what they're going to have or what they're not going to have, but a friend of mine have a book date to go and do that this weekend. So yeah, I may be back, or if I don't get anything, then I may not. We'll see how it goes. Hey guys, it's Sarah again. Okay, so I went to the library sale this morning and I did come back with 4 books. So I'm gonna throw those into this haul here really quick. The library sale that I went to is in actually the next town over from ours. It's about 30 minutes away. So I made the trip over there and the prices were incredible. It was 50 cents for hardback and 25 cents for paperback, regardless of condition. So got some pretty good deals. I got 1 hardback and 3 paperbacks. So the first one that I picked up is Cutting for Stone. This is by Abraham Verghese. Verghese, I think is the name. I've heard about this book a lot and I've always been interested in picking it up. And I believe it's about twin brothers and it's set in India. And there's something about medicine and things like that. That's all I know. So I'm not going to read too much into it anymore, so I can kind of go in a little bit blind. But I have heard it's very good. And 25 cents, yeah, sign me up. The second one I picked up is Sleeping Arrangements by Madeline Wickham. Madeline Wickham is the same person as Sophie Kinsella, who writes the Shopaholic books and a few other ones. And I love those books. That's her pseudonym for that. Madeline Wickham is her actual name, so she writes under that name as well. I have not read any books under Madeline yet, but I have. This is my second one that I have. I got one from Book Outlet as well. So yeah, 25 cents. The cover's a little bit bent and stuff, but 25 cents. It's fine with me. The next one I'm going to show you here is the hardback copy that I got. So I got this for 50 cents, 50, and I got The Paris Wife by Paula McLean. I've heard a lot of good things about this book as well. The only thing I can't figure out is if it's fiction or nonfiction. This is about Ernest Hemingway's first marriage, and this is set in Paris in the 1920s, and it's literally about the first person that Ernest Hemingway was married to. But I can't figure out if it's fiction, like a historical fiction, or if it's a nonfiction, like it's actually about his first wife and their marriage and stuff. I can't figure it out, and I can't find it anywhere. So if anyone has read this and you know, let me know if it's fiction or nonfiction. I don't care either way, I'm going to read it. But yeah, I've heard very good things about this book, and it's in wonderful condition and 50 cents. And the last book that I got is another paperback, and I got The Clan of the Cave Bear by Jean M. All. Okay, so if you've been on my channel for a while, you may have seen me haul this book, The Clan of the Cave Bear, over the summer because I found this at Goodwill. However, I wasn't super thrilled about it because this is mass market paperback, and I hate these. I hate them. They make my hand cramp up. I hate how small the text is. I hate these. But I got it because I thought it was really kind of my only option. And even looking online, I couldn't find like a big paperback like this. So yeah, I picked this up at Goodwill. I'm going to take it back to Goodwill now because I found this one today, and look how beautiful. It's really, the cover's really, really pretty, and it's nice and floppy. Look at that, you guys. And the text is great. So yeah, I did not hesitate to grab this one. I was like, I will enjoy reading this version of it so much better than a little mass market paperback that's going to drive me crazy for over 500 pages. So all right, guys, that's it for me. That is my book haul for September, October, and November. I hope you guys enjoyed that. If you have any questions, please let me know. Let me know if you read any of these books and what you thought. No spoilers, please. But yeah, I'm excited and just coming to the terms with that book buying bans don't work on me, and I'm okay with that. All right, I'll talk to you guys later. Have a great day. Bye.